Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Chudale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Panchakalpaturubhescha Kripa Sindhuveva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Dandavat Pranam devotees. Madhavatiti Ekarasi Ki Jai. Of course, it's the Dwadasi today, but we're honoring Madhavatiti Ekarasi today because yesterday here in the East Coast it was unsuitable for fasting. So I am responding to a sort of inbox. It wasn't really a question, it was more like a comment. And it was related to a post by one devotee who I'm really inspired by this devotee. He's a very young devotee, not very young devotee I should say, but young in age. But he's been very inspirational to many younger devotees coming to the path of bhakti. And he's been able to gel many of these devotees to work together to manifest some wonderful projects. I've had the opportunity to go on a couple of occasions during my traveling for Harikatha to visit this place in Ypsilanti in Michigan. And I understand he has another project as well. I don't have his permission to say his name, but maybe devotees will know by those descriptions who I'm speaking about. But he's such a wonderful, I think, inspiration as a younger devotee, and the way he's been able to very intelligently and inspirationally garner devotees around him to serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, and Mahaprabhu. He had created a post and he had described the whole idea of some things regarding an initiation system in which there is a course outline for disciples who desire or aspire to take initiation. And some of the things that came about in his experience as a result of that with people that he sent to that course. Of course, people, when they come to bhakti, then under the inspiration of whomever they have come, they look to that person to give them guidance in taking the next steps. So the next steps, of course, are to come into the association of devotees, begin the process of serving, and then the obvious thing is to find a spiritual master. And I don't know if find a spiritual master is the right word, but put oneself in a position where the Kripa of Bhagavan and Guru come to that disciple. Brahmana Brahmati Konya Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Bhoy Bhakti Lata Bij. That actually Shri Guru and Krishna, their combined Kripa or mercy is what allows Guru to come into the life of a aspirant. And it's described that Purva Sukriti Sanjate, that previously acquired Sukriti is the sort of fertile ground in the heart of that aspirant that helps to facilitate that. So the combination of previously acquired Sukriti or auspiciousness or piety and the mercy of Krishna and Guru are the combining factors that bring Guru and the aspiring disciple together. So he gave a very nice analysis of, the possible problems with, having a sort of, a more institutional approach to the guru-disciple relationship. And how, perhaps, I'm paraphrasing here, that the organic nature of that connection could be affected by a lot of the institutional imposition. So and it's left some people with not such a good experience, and hence maybe not a desire to move forward in the process of bhakti. And where it's easy to point out that person's perhaps insincerity or something else, that's not always the case. It could genuinely be the lack of inspiration or the divestment of faith that happens when a person becomes uninspired due to institutional impositions. So, our Srila Prabhupada in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 1, text 35, in that purport, he quotes Srila Jiva Goswami Pad in the Bhakti Sandarbha, maybe Anuched 200 and something. Srila Jiva Goswami has gone over a sort of matrix of what not to do in approaching the process of initiation. And he mentions that one should not take initiation based on social, customary, hereditary, or ecclesiastical considerations. So that covers a pretty broad spectrum, not social, not that my friends and others have done a particular thing, and so I'll become socially inspired by what's popular among the social dynamic, and that will become my inspiration to take initiation. Hereditary. This is what has what has been done. This is the heritage in our particular setting, and therefore I'm going to base my initiation on that. Or customary. These are the customs and traditions. And of course, a lot of this, when you really think about it, Jiva Goswami Pad is quoting based on, a lot of things that were happening and still today happen in India with the idea of social, customary, and hereditary traditions in particular villages and so forth and so on, as far as taking initiation from Guru, right? And he was saying that those should not be considerations. And he also mentions ecclesiastical. So ecclesiastical means, obviously, when there is a hierarchical body which runs like, the Catholic Church or any institution where you have a hierarchical body. Of course, in our systems here within Vaishnavism, like Gaudiya Math, ISKCON, and any other institutional lines, even in the traditional pariwars, etc., right? There's some sense of a hierarchy. But in any of those situations, the hierarchical body, right, just like the other three categories I mentioned, should not become the prominent influence in the relationship between a guru and aspiring disciple. Srila Prabhupada goes on to quote that one should take initiation by finding a genuinely bona fide spiritual master. And that should be the basis of the approach of the aspirant in terms of taking initiation. This should be the sole criterion. Let me find or let the arrangements organically come where I will meet a bona fide, realized guru. That's the criteria. And there is no other in Sastra criteria that's written, right? Rather, Tasmat Gurum Papajeta Jigyasho Shre Uttamam, right? Shabdapare Chanishnatam, Brahma Upasamasrayam, Tadviri Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya, Upadekshanti Te Gyanam, Gyaninas Tatvadarshinaha. You can go on to quote so many verses, and in any of those verses, the crux teaching or the essential teaching is that one should approach a bona fide, realized guru, right? And make relevant inquiry from that guru of how to progress in spiritual life with an attitude of pranipat, means surrender, and seva, the mood to do service to Guru and Krishna. So you cannot take those essential factors out of the guru-disciple relationship. And that essential factor is something that's organic. It's not something that can be imposed by any of those four categories: social, customary, hereditary, or ecclesiastical considerations. That's why Jiva Goswami said we should not base the tendency or the practice of taking initiation on those things, but rather it should be the genuine desire to find a bona fide Guru Sadhu and take spiritual initiation from them according to the prescriptions of Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, that Guru Padasraya, then Guru Diksha, Shiksha, right? Then Vishwambena Guru Seva, right? So these are the ways that we should model how we teach those who may come in our association how to look for initiation or how to approach the idea of taking initiation. I was very inspired by that Prabhu, that he had enough insight and enough, Krishna conscious fortitude to speak honestly but not negatively, because we shouldn't think that even if an institutional arrangement is made of how to guide people, that there's some malicious intent behind it, because I don't believe that to be the case. It could just be that in the organizational ideal, in an attempt to serve a mission overall, a certain thing is put forward, and it may not be optimal. And sometimes it's difficult to go back and revisit something and realize, yeah, this may not have been the best thing. So we should follow Sastra in the manner of how we approach taking initiation. So this was not meant to be really a long, expanded class on Guru Tattva, but I just wanted to both acknowledge that devotee. I wanted to reply to the comment that I received in the inbox, which was more along the lines of, yes, that person also agreed that the institutional approach to Guru disciple was not good, that it should be something that's felt in the heart. These were some of the points that the other person who wrote the inbox to me was mentioning. And certainly those things are true, but we also have some guidance regarding how an aspirant should approach. So I've quoted a couple of verses, and in the Hari Bhakti Vilas also it is mentioned that an aspiring disciple should come and be in the association of Sri Guru, whom they are looking forward to taking initiation from, for 1 year. And during that 1 year, there should be mutual examination, the Guru of that disciple and disciple of Guru. Now, the question could arise, Mukunda, well, what will any very new person know what to look for in terms of understanding the quality and behavior, etc. of Guru? So, Srila Prabhupada, in the 5th verse of Upadeshamrita, he, in the purport, described the onus on the aspirant to become familiar with Guru Tattva. Right? Like if you want to do something, we do research for so many things. What is the best school for my education? What is the best car to buy? What is the best of anything? And we do all the research and go through all of the prerequisites that we go through before we make an investment of any sort. How is it that in the most important decision, the decision of your first contact with transcendence, because the relationship with Guru and the disciple, this is the disciple's first true contact with transcendence and with the spiritual energy. How would that not be the most prominent and important decision that you'll make, and hence the most important as far as doing research and as far as understanding what it is that you're doing? So in that year, it allows the disciple a chance to learn what is Guru Tattva. That is the whole idea. And in the course of serving the Guru whom one aspires to take initiation from, then the teachings of Guru Tattva should become clearly established in the heart. And in that way, the aspiring disciple can see, is my Gurudev matching the criteria that I'm understanding from Guru Tattva? If you find yourself in a situation in which there's reluctance to teach what is Guru Tattva, and there's more of a push to have unquestioned allegiance, unquestioned devotion to someone void of the knowledge of Guru Tattva, then you should know that this is a red flag, and one should probably reconsider. So, but if you're in the association of a genuine Sadhu Guru, then that Sadhu Guru will be very keen to allow the disciple to clearly understand Guru Tattva. So the disciple understands the commitment and the faith investment that they're making when they select this person as guru. Because once you make this selection, there's very few circumstances under which it can be broken. I mean, if you think a marriage is something dharmically, of course, they should not be broken. What to speak of the relationship between guru and disciple? So there are very few Mahabharat, Guru api avaliptasya, karima karima gyanata. There are very few circumstances under which the relationship between guru and disciple can be broken, right? One would be, as I mentioned here from Mahabharat, that if the guru is seen to not be acting properly, it doesn't appear to know what should be done and what should not be done. So, other than that, or if the disciple has realization that the person really was not bona fide guru, then, obviously their faith will become hindered, and the natural relationship between guru and disciple is already broken. So it's not a question that, the disciple is breaking the relationship, because faith is the basis of the relationship. And once it is broken, that indicates that the relationship is broken. Now, this doesn't excuse whimsical behavior on the behalf of a aspiring disciple. You have met bona fide sadhu guru, but then in your lack of maturation, you decide, oh, well, maybe this person is more inspiring or that person is more inspiring, and you decide to just whimsically go from one person to another. So this is also frowned upon, and is actually aparad. It comes in the category of guru aparad. In Bhakti Sandarbha again, in Anuched, I believe it's 207 perhaps, Jiva Goswami has clearly mentioned that one can only have one Diksha Guru. There may be many Shiksha Gurus. And here the word Shiksha Guru doesn't mean there just may be a plethora of Shiksha Gurus, because Shiksha Guru is described as an equal manifestation of Diksha Guru with a separate or different function. So it's not that everybody who gives you any kind of instruction is Shiksha Guru. So there is another term, Vatma Padaksha Guru. So that person who may help us along the path, that is a different thing. But one who is realized like my Diksha Guru and gives me Shiksha, either my Gurudev is into Samadhi or even being separated from Guru, then that person who is like my Diksha Guru in realization, everything also gives instruction and so forth, they can be called Shiksha Guru, right? If you want to just generically use the term Shiksha Guru of anybody who gives instruction, that's one thing, but there should be a clear understanding at the same time that not everybody who gives instruction is Shiksha Guru. Some people are like the mother of Dhruva Maharaj, Suniti. She gave Dhruva good instructions of how he could find Bhagavan. So she was not equated with Narada Muni, who was like the guru of Dhruva Maharaj. But because she gave good instruction, she was considered Vatma Pradaksha Guru, that person who could illuminate the path, who could give good instructions regarding the path. Right? So again, I didn't want this to really be a long thing, but I wanted to get these points across. I wanted to also address the devotee who wrote. I do agree with most of what you said. The only parts that may be a little bit tricky is too much dependence on our own sort of just what we feel. Because there were a lot of things, again, I don't have it in front of me, but there were a lot of things about what you feel in your heart, what spirit is telling you, and these kind of things. And we want to be a little bit careful to temper that with what the Sastra say, right? What is the description of Sadguru in Sastra, right? What is a sadhu? Sadnoti sadayati cha Krishna premiti sadhu. That person who's understood Sadvastu, the eternal reality, to be Krishna prem. That person, Jiva Goswami says, is called sadhu, right? And what is guru? We already quoted verses, right? And even there may be a person who has not yet fully realized their bhajan. Shastra yukti suni punya drita shara yandra uttamarikari se tare samsara. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is written, a person may have uttamarikar in the eligibility for the practice of bhakti. And that person also Taraya Sangsara means they may also help others to be delivered from the cycle of samsara. So sometimes it is seen that, especially when the Guru takes samadhi, perhaps someone may not even be fully realized soul, but Drita Shraddha Yandra, one, their faith is completely fixed, and Sastrayukti Sunipunya, they are completely versed in Sastra, and Sastrayukti means what is the Sastra and what is the meaning of Sastra. And based on that, their faith is firmly fixed, they can help others in the practice. But of course, Srila Prabhupada says that Uttamadhikari or Uttam Bhagavat is the ideal for accepting initiation into Vaishnava Dharma. So Uttam Bhagavat means that person who is a Tattva Darshana, who has realized their own bhajan siddhi, their perfection in bhajan life, and they're mercifully inclined to take you and help you also to reach your perfection. So, you know, we should be clear about these kind of things. A class on Guru Tattva is a whole other thing, as I mentioned many times here. But we should have some idea in order to be clear about what is the guidelines and principles for taking initiation and from whom we should take initiation. Oh wait, somebody's asking a question. Let me see. Who has the luxury to situate one's life? So it's a very good question. Actually, one devotee is asking a question. How is it possible, who has the ability, the time, everything else, to put yourself in the position to be around Guru for 1 year to do this, what Hari Bhakti Vilas calls the disciples' examination of Guru and Guru's examination of disciples. Well, in a pragmatic sense, obviously, in the times we live in now, that may not be possible due to a whole host of reasons. But one can have association, via many means that were not available during the time when Hari Bhakti Vilas was written. Right? We do have virtual ability to contact Guru. There is all kinds of ability to exchange emails and so many different things. So it's not like there's no ability to have association, right? So we also, from time to time, may have physical association, but we also have all of these other means. And if the disciple is sincere and the Guru is bona fide, then the means through modern arrangements can also be made for this mutual examination, right? So certainly it may not be possible to, leave our given circumstance and just go and be with Guru for 1 year. And similarly, most of those who are serving as Guru may be sannyasis and they are continuously traveling, as this devotee brought up. And so it may not be possible, but they'll be situated in one place like it used to be where Guru had an ashram and a disciple could go there and stay there for 1 year. So, but we do have means to associate virtually by communications and so many other ways. But the most important thing is we also have the ability to understand what is Guru Tattva from many devotees, senior devotees who may be around us. And by clearly understanding what is Guru Tattva, then this mutual examination can go on, because the Guru can examine how the disciple is progressing. Are they understanding more Guru Tattva? When I came to the lotus feet of my Guru Pada Padma, I had already spent so much time hearing and so many things, but still he said, oh, you should see if I am a pure devotee, right? I will help you in all ways. So actually, literally 1 year, there was communication and contact, so forth and so on. And then in that next year, then I received my Harinam Diksha from the lotus feet of my Guru Parapadma. So, circumstances work things out like that. And it may not always be 1 year exactly. So, it'll be according to the natural evolution of the disciple and the situation in which Guru sees that disciple's evolution and says, yes, they have now been seen to have evolved in their understanding of Guru Tattva, and they know what the commitment is, and they also have some understanding of what is sadhana and sadhya, and they have a basis, they have a foundation, and that then becomes a proper connection point for an aspiring disciple and realized Guru, or as I said, one who is Uttamadikar in the practice of bhakti. Right? Rupa Goswami makes this distinction. I quoted this verse earlier, Sastra Yukti Suni Punya Dridashwara Yandana, Uttamadikari Se Tare Samsar. That a person has Uttamadikar in the eligibility of the practice. It means they're fixed in their practice. They may not have realized Bhajan Siddhi, means their own Swarup, everything, but they are fixed in the practice, and they are also fixed in all Sastra and Sastra Yukti. Sastra Yukti means understanding of the Sastra, what is the meaning of the verses, everything else, and they can help another person to understand. So they may also accept disciples, someone in that category. So my Dandavat Pranam, and I hope this was helpful both to the devotee who wrote and even to others. As I said, it was not a class on Guru Tattva. I think there will be many, many things to go over in that regard. But it was just addressing what I thought was a very insightful and a very mature way to present something. Sometimes devotees will just make complaints about something, or they'll just disparage something that they don't see as optimal, and there'll be a lot of negativity. I think this particular devotee's presentation of that particular system and the problems with it was done very maturely, and he's a very sincere devotee. So I think overall it was very inspiring for many devotees to read. So again, I hope to get his association and the association devotees in Ypsilanti once I start to travel again. And my Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees. Jai Vancha Kalpaturubhishya Kripa Sindhu Vaishnavi Namo Namaha. Jai Radhe Radhe.